Hello everyone, and welcome to this review analysis of Mass Effect 3. And let me adjust my glasses as I say this. I have a feeling I know why that you have clicked on this video. You want me to talk about the ending of Mass Effect 3 and my thoughts on it. And just to get it out of debate, let me explain why I both hate and like the ending of Mass Effect 3. I hate it because the developers, BioWare, some of the key personnel was talking about how every choice you make in the past 2 games will be carryover. Yes, really simple technology. It's just the game is just reading past saves. But they said that every decision will count and will affect the ending. And what basically we got was just a change in colour. It was either red, blue, or green. And aside from little details, aside from decisions specific to individual missions, such as Rannoch and the Asari homeworld, decisions that you make in early games will not affect anything. It doesn't mean shit. And it's extremely disappointing that in Mass Effect 2, Legion's missions, I think I made the choice where I actually rewrote the GEF. And it seems like the mission in Mass Effect 3 overrid that. It seems like, I rewrote the GEF. Rewrote the minds of the GEF in Mass Effect 2 to stop them turning evil. In Mass Effect 3, it's just hand-waved that no, it didn't affect anything, that they're already evil. It's just like Terminator 3. Everything that was done by the heroes to prevent disaster ultimately meant nothing, and disaster still came. And that's the Mass Effect 3 ending in a nutshell. The decisions are meaningless. And one of the decisions, I should also mention the DLC ending. One of the decisions is have organic and synthetic life come together. Shepard control the Reapers, or Shepard dying from the Reapers. And the DLC that came out afterwards had another moment where, kind of like a screw you moment, and said, I'm not choosing any of these 3 endings. I'm going to create my own destiny. And that's well and good, but of all the 4 possible endings, it seems like none of them were satisfactory. And like I said, it's just pretty much a different colour. And it's turned the Mass Effect world from a crap sack world to even crapper sack world. And basically, what I mean by crap sack world is a world that is bad. That good people die and everything, cuties are broken, and everything ends horribly. And I should mention the Star Child. I mean, the final sequence of the game is you storm London, which is being attacked by Reapers, and the Citadel, which somehow has been transported there. The Star Child, which is an AI who created the Reapers billions of years before the Reapers started their cycles of destruction and collecting organics and making them into a fine paste and making a new reproduction. The Star Child was an AI inside the Citadel all along. And I felt it was just lazy writing, really. I mean, the AI, I call it the Star Child because the AI takes the form of a little, a boy, I think. that Commander Shepard was unable to save during the initial attack on Earth. But it was so disappointing. Because I imagine that the Crucible, which is this sci-fi gigantic device thing, I imagine that you spend the whole entire game building, forging alliances, recruiting people, recruiting war assets, as it's called in the game, to build this Crucible to combat the Reapers. It's just thrown away, meaningless. And you just end up having a conversation with Star Trek and choosing those 3 ugly endings. And what I wanted was the Crucible to be a big weapon. Like, imagine a gun, a rail gun, powered nothing but Mass Effect field. Like huge bullets of Mass Effect tearing into the Reapers. I wanted a wave motion gun. That's what I wanted the Crucible to be. To destroy the Reapers, to knock them out cold, to finally beat them once and for all. And what we get is an ending where we talk to the Star Child, and I'll move on. So, in short, the endings are bad because choices mean nothing. The choices you get aren't satisfactory, and it loses all impact. What I did like about the Mass Effect 3 ending is after I finished playing it, I put the controller down, I went outside, I went for a walk, and this was at 7 PM at night, which in my part of Australia is still pretty daylight. So I was just walking and my head was held high and I was content. I wasn't happy, but I was content. I was at peace. Then I finally finished my journey from Mass Effect 2 because I wasn't able to play Mass Effect 1, because when I bought Mass Effect 2, long story short, Mass Effect 1 wasn't available on PlayStation 3 and then did become available on PlayStation 3, but by that time the sequel came out and the third part of the series came out, and I was unable to find it. But I was just saying that I was content. I wasn't happy, but I was feeling at peace that I managed to stop this cycle of the Reapers. Not in the best way. And another good thing about the ending, I think, is the ending narration. The epilogue is done by Buzz freaking Aldrin, the second man on the moon. Which is a nice touch, which many people don't know about, but that was really cool. I think that's probably one of the reasons which made me content, because I knew it was Buzz Aldrin doing a narration, which was pretty cool. And another thing about the ending, it seems like the characters in my playthrough, I think Edie and Liara and Joker and Garrus and some of the others crash land on a planet, and it doesn't seem like they were going to survive. And in all 3 of their endings, the Mass Effect relays get taken out, which is strange. Which means, like in a sci-fi world where Mass Effect relays enables you to travel light years, vast, huge differences, huge distances, galactic civilization is pretty much starts at the beginning. Okay, I'll move on. But the thing about the ending, the other thing that I must be positive about, is that it is the story that BioWare wanted to tell. Let's take Star Wars, the prequels, for example. Most people don't like Star Wars, the prequels. I'm in the minority, I do. I think there's still some good to them. But the thing is about the prequels is that they didn't like it for the story, but it was the creator, George Lucas, who wrote that story. You don't go to George Lucas and say to him, I didn't like the ending of episode 4. Could you rewrite it? Likewise, you don't go to any writer of any book of any medium and says, I don't like the fact that my favourite main character got killed. Could you write that? No, it's a story that they wanted to tell. It's passive. It's not interactive. And because video games and video game stories are a mesh between interactive and passive, interactive because it's a video game, it's also a passive storytelling because that is the story that they wanted to tell. You can't change it. That is the story they wanted to tell. And so I must give it to them. Not because I thought it was a satisfactory ending. I must give it to them. I must respect it to them that is the story that I wanted to tell. It was very good in the middle part, and they dropped the baton a little at the end, but that is the story that they wanted to tell, and I have to live with it. I have to live with the notion of the Star Child and Shepard going crazy. And no, I don't subscribe to the indoctrination theory. I think there's not enough evidence for that. In law-wise or canon-wise, I don't believe there's enough evidence for that. So I don't subscribe to it at all. Okay, I'll put down my glasses. And the other thing about the story is that it's so depressing. The game is so depressing. It's got this entire feel throughout every mission of the game that it's depressing. And Mass Effect 2 didn't have that. Mass Effect 2 had hope. Sure, there was nightmare fuel in Harbinger, in the Collectors, and all the corrupt things, all the corrupt officials that everyone was doing, that members of the galaxy were doing. There was still some hope. But in Mass Effect 3, I think the theme is just war is terrible. And yes, war is terrible, but it was so depressing that I felt really, really sad when I was playing it. Not since Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto 4 did I felt so depressed playing a video game. And video games are meant to be for enjoyment, for escapism, for fun. I don't play video games. I play video games to escape life, to have fun, and not just to get depressed. So it's just really air of depression. I don't know how else to say it. It's a very downer game. And don't get me started on the levels or sequences where you chase after the kid who becomes the Star Child in the ending. I digress. I could not do that for the life of me. And in reality, you're just moving forward on the controller. Doesn't matter whether on a PlayStation 3 or PC or Xbox. You're still chasing after Card in these. Well, it's Shepard's nightmares, but her nightmares just so poorly done. It feels so out of place. I'm just chasing this kid, and I get lost, and I didn't know how to finish the level. It seemed so odd and strange. I just didn't like those stages. Is it a good RPG? Yeah. The story has a lot to be decided for, but for the ending is bad. Let's admit it. But the writing for the quests, the missions are really well done. The combat is great. The customization is still there. Talking to characters is always fun. All the different places you get to meet and all the set pieces, still very much fun. Very Mass Effect. That I did enjoy, the combat and the RPG element. That I did enjoy that. But just to finish things off, some of the characters weren't used to great effect. Jacob, for example, was a waste. Some of the characters like Samara acted very oddly, very out of character. That's it, yeah. What else is to say? That I feel disappointed, really. Mass Effect 2 was such a strong game. It did almost everything right, and Mass Effect 3 has some very good points. Just it suffers from bad writing and a lack of polish, I think. And it's a shame because there were moments where I did enjoy myself a lot playing this game. Especially the DLC starring Arya T'Loak. And it just feels like this franchise where I invested in the characters. I invested in Tali and Thane and in Kasumi and Garrus and all these great characters. It wasn't... The ending felt... It didn't benefit them. So I have mixed feelings. I'm not going to give you a rating out of 10. That's not what I do. So, would I recommend it? Probably not. I still think Mass Effect 2 is the best in the series. Play that instead. You'll get hours of worth of content and you won't feel ripped off by the ending. But having said that, Mass Effect 3 is by far not the worst game in the world. It's an okay game. Maybe a good game, but it's not a great game. So, I feel kind of upset, I feel vitriolic, I feel depressed. Which is kind of the theme of Mass Effect 3, but what can I say? Well, thank you guys for watching this, I appreciate it. And please tell me what your thoughts on the ending of Mass Effect 3 or any of the gameplay bits down below. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.